Okay, we will be measuring our base curves today. The tool that we'll be using is our lens clock. The first thing that we want to do is make sure that our lens clock is calibrated. So you want to put it up against a flat surface, and if the dial goes to 0, then we know that the actual lens clock has been calibrated. All right, so we'll just be pressing it up against a flat surface, and you can see that it is at a 0. So now we know that our lens clock is calibrated. The lens that we'll be using to measure our base curves today will be this plus lens. It is a plus lens because the thickness is in the center and the edges are thinner, which would give us a concave shape. So the first thing that we're going to be doing today is measuring the front surface of the base curve. So what we're going to do, we're going to measure it in 3 locations. We're going to measure it in the 90th meridian, the 180th meridian, and our oblique meridian. Okay, so our 90th meridian would be our vertical meridian. Our 180th meridian would be our horizontal meridian, and our oblique meridian would be our diagonal meridian. Okay, so we're going to do that with our right lens and our left lens. Okay, so this would be our left lens and this would be our right lens. So we're going to always start with OD, which is our right lens. So we're going to do the 90th meridian. Let me put it this way. All right, so we're doing our 90th meridian and our clock is reading. Okay, so we're doing it at our 90th meridian and our clock is reading at 6. And that's a +6. So we're gonna mark that down. Now we're gonna do it at our 180th meridian. We're just gonna come straight at our horizontal. Alright, and the clock is reading at +6.25. And now we're going to come at our diagonal meridian, which is our oblique meridian. One moment. Let me do that one more time. That one is reading at +5.75. Now we're going to do the same thing to our left lens. We're going to come to our 90th meridian. Okay, so for the right lens, it's reading at +6.25. And our 180th meridian, which is our horizontal meridian, it's reading at 6. And our oblique meridian is reading at one moment. At +6.25 as well. Okay, so when picking the actual base curve, you would pick the most least out of the 3 on each of the lens. So for our right lens, the most least reading, or the diopters, would be the +5.75. So we would write that down for our right lens. And then for our left lens, the least one, we have a tie at the 90th meridian and the oblique meridian. So we're just going to do the 90th meridian. my mistake, I'm sorry. It's the 180th meridian because out of the three, that is the least, which is at +6, because the other two are at +6.25. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure the back surface of the lens. Okay, so now we're gonna be measuring the back surface. So in which meridian will we be measuring the back surface of the lens, the base curve of the back surface of the lens? So you would pick the meridian that was the lowest in the front is the meridian that you would be measuring in the back. So for our right lens, the lowest meridian was our oblique meridian. So that's what we would be doing for our right lens. And for our left lens, the lowest was the 180th meridian, which is our horizontal meridian. Okay, so now we're going to just take our lens clock for our right lens. All right, so our right lens would be here, and we're gonna just take the lens clock and put it up against the frame, put up against the lens, and it is recording at -4.25. And our left lens, which was, one moment, I measured that incorrectly. I swapped the two. Our right lenses are at our oblique, so it'd be at a slant. And it is at 3.75, -3.75. And our left lens, which is at our 180th meridian, is at -4.25. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is measure our nominal power. So we're going to take the lowest amount that we had for our front surface, which was in our oblique meridian for our right lens, and we're going to take the +5.75, and we're going to subtract it from the 3.75, or combine. Okay, so now we're gonna use our nominal power. And how we would calculate our nominal power, we would take the lowest amount that we had for our front surface for our right and left lens, and we would combine it with the back surface that we had for our right and left lens. So when we combine the two, we get a +2 at the 45th meridian for our right lens. And when we combine the two for our left lens, we get our nominal power at +1.75 at our 180th meridian. And this is how we would measure our base curve on a plus lens, which is our concave lens.